tension between selling newspapers and informing the public, and I thought I might talk about some examples of where I've seen that at play. And I bring that up as an example because it's real, it exists. I work for a business. But I think sometimes the public's understanding of how that plays isn't exactly right. You know, it's not quite the evil, insipid entity that you might think it is. So, you know, some examples recently from my own coverage where I felt like we haven't done a great job, or there's been that pressure, was with the Toronto District School Board a couple years ago, and what was called the Mosqueteria, and there was prayer in a cafeteria at a middle school during Ramadan, because the kids were leaving to go to the mosque to pray, and there were some concerns about their safety. And there's a place where that just went gangbusters on the web. Like, just clickety, clickety, click, click, click. And it was just leading the web the whole time. So my editors, of course, were like, we want as much on this as possible. And that story kind of, while I think there were good questions that came out of that story, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be covered, I think we blew it up more than we should have when things like, you know, groups that it maybe wasn't that surprising that they would join the chorus of dissent would join. So, you know, sort of, you know, it was originally the Hindu, what's it called, the Hindu Canadian Advocacy, which you should follow up on. Actually, the Grid did a really good piece about who they are. It turns out it's probably just one angry guy who says he's speaking on behalf of Hindus. And so I'm sorry. But yeah, anyway, so that's obviously, I think, the media failing in the first place, and that we kind of become a voice for this guy, and I think it's questionable how much voice he should have. And then, you know, then the JDL joined, and the Muslim Canadian Congress, these groups that it's not that surprising that they would join, and every time they would join the chorus of dissent, they'd be like, Kate, write another webhit. Yay! It's going to get like 3,000 comments. And so that's the kind of place where I do run into that tension, and I fight against it as best I can, but ultimately I am, you know, on that totem pole, I'm not that high. I do have some say, but at the end of the day, I do have a responsibility to do what my bosses ask and to